What up, y'all? Elon Musk was recently on an episode of the Ted Cruz podcast, and he had a chance to deep dive and explain some of the concerns he has with his life and the threats on his life and why he's doing all this. So I want to jump in with you guys so we can take a deep dive to see why is Elon putting his whole life and the companies on the line. Let's check it out.
5 years ago, you were a hero to the left. You were cool, you had electric cars, you had space. And in 5 years, you've gone.
I could go to a party in Hollywood and not get dirty looks.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah.
And
Now you might not even get invited.
I think it's
Still get invited, but I don't know if I should go.
and I don't think it's an exaggeration to say today, after Donald Trump, the left hates you more than any person on earth.
Yes, I appear to be number two. I mean, if you're judged by the various signs,
It's derangement. It's Trump derangement syndrome and Elon derangement syndrome.
Yes.
How is it that for you? That's a little bit of whiplash of going from being like Mr. Cool to the devil incarnate in just a couple of years. Is that kind of weird to experience that transformation?
Yes.
Why do they hate you so much?
Well, because we're clearly over the target. If DOGE was ineffective, if we were not actually getting rid of a bunch of waste and fraud, and a bunch of that fraud, I mean, the fraud we're seeing is overwhelmingly on the left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Anybody surprised by that? I'm not.
it's not zero on the right, but these NGOs are almost all left-wing NGOs that are being funded, for example.
Yep.
So they
You can tell by the way they're acting. They're all going crazy.
hate me because DOGE is being effective, and DOGE is getting rid of a lot of waste and fraud that people on the left were taking advantage of. That's what it comes down to. And the single biggest thing that they're worried about is that DOGE is going to turn off fraudulent payments of entitlements. I mean, everything from Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, disability, small business administration loans, turn them off to illegals. This is the crux of the matter.
Yep.
Okay, this is the thing that why they really hit my guts and want me to die.
And do you think that's billions, hundreds of billions? What do you think the scale is of that?
I think across the country it's well north of 100 billion, maybe 200 billion. By using entitlements fraud, the Democrats have been able to attract and retain vast numbers of illegal immigrants.
And buy voters.
And buy voters, exactly. They basically bring in, I don't know, 10, 20 million people who are beholden to the Democrats for government handouts and will vote overwhelmingly Democrat.
I hate to cut this off, but I have to tell you that this has to be true. Colorado recently just passed a law where by March 31st, they're making it far more easy for illegals to get their driver's licenses and get everything they need to become citizens. They're like fast tracking everyone. Why would they be doing this, considering we have all of these issues and Tom Homan is already having a hard time getting these people out of here? Now they're trying to make sure that these people can fast track to getting driver's licenses. 'Cause once you get a driver's license, you can do pretty much almost everything. They're going to get them socials and all this stuff by March 31st. So all those people that are hiding, once they can get their IDs and stuff, it's going to be exponentially harder to try to get these people out of here. And then they'll be trying to become, you know, voters in this country. What he's saying is got to be true. This is crazy.
Has been demonstrated in California. This is
It's an election strategy.
yes.
It's power.
Yes, and it doesn't take much to turn the swing states blue. I mean, often a swing state might be won by 10, 20,000 votes.
Sure.
So if the Dems can bring in 200,000 illegals and over time get them legalized, not counting any cheating that takes place, because there is some cheating, but even without cheating, if you bring in illegals that are 10x the voter differential in a swing state, it will no longer be a swing state.
Right.
And the Dems will win all the swing states, just a matter of time, and America will be permanent, deep blue socialist state. The House, the Senate,
Yep.
The presidency, and the Supreme Court will all go hardcore Dem. They will then further cement that by bringing in even more aliens. So you can't vote your way out of it.
Yo, that is scary. And how close were we how close were we to having that happen if Kamala Harris would have won the presidency? It would have been over because they would have continued this process. Imagine not ever being able to vote your way out of that, and we're always blue. The whole country was blue. Wow, that is absolutely terrifying and shows how much they hate us because the people on the left are the ones that are always trying to take our power away. Conservatives have always been the ones against big government. So, man, we were this close to losing all of our freedoms, man. Well, we weren't that close because we overwhelmingly annihilated the difference. You know, it was like 77 million people voted for Trump. It was like 70-30. But still, I mean, that's too close for comfort for me to losing everything that we love in this country, like freedom of speech. Oh, man, that's that's scary stuff.
And we will be
Their
a
objective is to
permanent
make it permanent.
one-party socialist state. And it'll be much worse in California because at least California is mitigated by the fact that someone can leave
Right,
California.
you can go to Texas.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what
But
you
they're
did.
going to make everywhere California but worse.
By the way, the middle of the pandemic, I spent 45 minutes on the phone with Elon. He was still in California. I was walking my dog, Snowflake, and trying to convince you, come to Texas. The commies in California can't stand you. We love you. We want you here. And,
Yeah.
and you didn't quite go then, but you went not that long afterwards.
I mean, the COVID actions almost killed Tesla because they let every other auto plant in the country was allowed to open, but ours, which was in California, was not allowed to open.
Wow.
Wow.
Due to over-regulation. That's why Led Zeppelin, what's his name? Led Zeppelin, I forgot the guy's name, but he's deregulating a whole bunch of stuff in the EPA and across the United States to make it easier for people like Elon and all these other companies to do what they need to do to thrive. Because over-regulation ruins everything.
So they almost killed Tesla.
So, as a
Lee Zeldin is the guy's name.
personal matter, do you ever regret it? Like 5 years ago, you go to the Oscars and we're Mr. Cool, and now you've got death threats every day. Like, do you?
Well, these days the Oscars are boring. I wouldn't want to go.
God bless the movies they nominate. No one on earth has ever seen. Like, could they actually nominate a movie that human beings go watch?
I mean, how many great movies have come out in the last several years? Very few.
Depressingly few.
Yeah, very few. The last Oscars came and went. I didn't even watch it. There's nothing to see.
Part of that, I think, is just there's too much going on. There's like, I personally don't really watch any entertainment. There's just so much real stuff going on that, me personally, I don't have time for movies. What about y'all?
I was sad that Gene Hackman just passed away because Unforgiven was spectacular, but that was a long time ago
Long
that
time
Unforgiven
ago.
came out.
You've mentioned today here and before about the possibility of someone wanting to take you out, dealing with the death threats. We
Yes,
see,
it's not in my imagination. You could just look on social media.
Yeah.
but like, is it
They make that very
because
clear.
Yeah, and look,
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with
And
that.
they've got signs. There are people with signs and demonstrations saying that I need to die.
Do you think, are these just whack jobs, or do you think
Well,
there
definitely whack
are
jobs. Hopefully.
foreign,
They're not sane people.
Yeah.
do you think there are foreign entities behind this? Do you think there are domestic entities behind the threats and also the attacks to Twitter, or not Twitter, Tesla? I mean, you're getting Tesla's charging stations lit on fire. Do you think that's organized and paid for?
Yes, at least some of it is organized and paid for. I think by domestic, basically left-wing organizations in America, funded by left-wing billionaires, essentially.
Is it like Act Blue or what?
Act Blue is one of them. There's Arabella, the classic. It's funded by the blue, basically the left-wing NGO cabal.
how big of a threat is this to like what you built at Tesla? I mean, I remember when Teslas came out, it was people that they didn't want to have gas cars. A lot of it was environmental reasons. I jokingly said, I was like, I'm a Texas guy. I'm always going to have something that burns gas. My kids now, all three of my boys, think that Teslas are awesome. The Cybertruck is the car they want their dad to buy, which I laugh because I never could have imagined that 5 years ago. And now I'm looking at.
We're at the White House and the president's Tesla is parked right outside the West Wing, which is the coolest damn thing.
But I mean, you've changed a generation. When you look at my kids are 6 and 8, and they're going, "Dad, buy a Cybertruck," and I'm considering it. That's a full circle, and
It is, and a lot of that is because he's showing his patriotism by doing all this stuff. He's potentially losing half of his net worth just to save the American taxpayer a few $1,000s. You know what I mean? He's like sacrificing it all, putting it all on the line to help you and me. And the people that are going around doing all this crazy stuff shows the difference in mentality between like a normal thinking person that uses logic versus somebody who operates off hate, spite, and just doesn't do any research for themselves.
weird way.
Yeah. Well, I do have this theory that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. So, yeah, it seems often to be true. You see, like, what twist or turn of fate
Well, I will
would generate
say,
the highest ratings? If we were a TV show, what twist or turn of fate would generate the highest ratings? There's a good chance that happens.
well, I will say if Act Blue and Arabella Networks,
ActBlue is a huge scam, next level.
do you think it's foreign money, Chinese money? Where do you think the money in Act Blue is coming from? And how do you figure that out?
Well, it's not coming from a whole bunch of from a groundswell of public support, because when individual donors are looked at in Act Blue, a bunch of them turn out to be like diehard Republicans,
Right.
people that have never given money in their life. So you're going to track down a bunch of these people where it says, "Oh, I gave $16,000," and they're like, "I didn't give $16,000. What are you talking about?" So,
Well,
I mean,
if those
Republican friends of mine found themselves on the Act Blue list, and they're like, "It definitely
Wow.
wasn't me." So that's
if it can actually be shown that they are funding firebombing of Tesla charging stations, that's objectively a criminal act. That is funding terrorist activity, and the statutes make clear that an incendiary device qualifies. So 5 years.
Well, there you have it, man. Elon is definitely putting it all on the line, like I said, to save us all money, to make the government a more streamlined operation. We deserve this. We deserve to have a government that isn't just blowing our money, especially with NGOs, $200 billion a year going to who knows whose pockets, including politicians, allegedly. So, I mean, we all deserve to have a government that works for us, that actually cares about us, that wants to save money and make our lives easier, and to have a smaller government. Big government is always bad. I'm telling you. We can look at all these other countries. Communism never works. Big government never works. The smaller the government, the less they stay out of your business, and the less money that they waste, the better all our lives will be. This is not rocket science. And Elon Musk, the actual rocket scientist guy, will tell you that. So you guys drop a comment, let me know your thoughts. I think it's really crazy that so many people are full of hatred and going around destroying random property, for people that they don't even know just because they're driving a Tesla. They don't know when they bought these vehicles. Hopefully, one day this will all stop and we can actually have a bright future without all of the drama. But we got to get through this first. And hey, there's going to be some bumpy parts across the way. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. You're watching the Unexplained Outlook. Peace.